that be disaster. I beat you endless and continue the day after. Street Fighter 3, that's right, the third chapter. This game's for real, no lies or no actors. Pick your character, don't wanna represent your life. You start with anybody, so make your choice right.
Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best.
Oh boy, right back at it again. It's a thing. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopian News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report brought to you by SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company ever. Snort approved. Here we go. Oh, hopefully you guys are doing all right. So, as I continue my own personal campaign in the Gouty Wars, by the way, that is a thing, and it's I do have that in the works. We are in a rather interesting situation where I'm going back and doing all these like older videos that Diggs had cut up for me, and in this particular one, we're gonna go over when DSP established his $3,000 in a single stream goal to try to felt the Kino Casino, but that's really not what it is. It's him trying to prove his worth to them, I think. But let's go ahead and transition over to my favorite segment. Hopefully you guys' favorite segment as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TED Talk. So, DSP trying to prove his worth to Kino Casino with $3,000, which is basically bare minimum shit, being that if you really wanted to prove your worth to somebody or to a group of people or whatever, wouldn't you want it to be higher than the amount of money that you actually made with them? Wouldn't you strive for 6,000, 9,000, 12,000? Well, it is what it is. If you only know the bare minimum, that's all you'll ever shoot for because that'll be the high point for you. In any case, it's kind of pathetic and it's kind of lame, and it just goes to show that all these people that DSP interact with, he wants to use them for everything they're worth, and then he wants to be able to leave. And they're supposed to be okay with that. Remember, after the side-scroller situation, the interview, he obsessed about Stuttering Craig for 18 months, or 16 to 18 months, let's say that. For 16 to 18 months until they finally had their confrontation in the Stuttering Craig interview. Kino Casino, he's constantly obsessing about those guys, and more than likely, he's in their streams. He just doesn't chat, obviously, but he's obviously watching their streams, or he's watching the edited streams on YouTube. So obviously he's still obsessing about that. He's obsessing about Low Tier God. He's still mad at Justin and Max for not letting him basically eat off their plates. He's a sick little man who is quick to tell you he has a life, he has a wife, and he's happy and shit, and yet when you see him, he is basically slug-faced while he's playing his video games. He's slug-faced while he's begging for contributions. He's spending more time, actually, begging for contributions than playing the damn game now. He literally holds games hostage, mid-game, to get contributions just so he can keep the game going. It's a fucking mess. But that's what we're here for. In any case, as it pertains to this whole $3,000 nonsense, bet he wish he went and got that Kino Casino money now. Also, to be honest, this shows you how simple-minded DSP is. The reason why this whole $3,000 thing is hanging over his head, and now he's hanging it over the dents and the NPCs' heads, is he believes that's the only thing that Kino Casino has over. Oh, we made Phil $3,000 in a single stream, even though in reality, they made Phil over 50 grand in their 8 months with each other. But whatever. They made him 3,000 in a single stream. DSP's thinking that's the only thing that they have over my head. If I can go ahead and get past that, then they'll never be able to have any real control over me. How mentally ill do you have to be to sit there and obsess about an amount of money that you made with people who you went into that situation, according to Phil, looking to fuck them over because he thought they were going to fuck him over. And yet you're still obsessing about getting this certain amount of money and on a particular stream, so you can basically cast off the shackles of their influence that they had on you. And so you can prove to yourself and your audience and them, I guess, that you can be your own man and stand on your own 2 feet. Keep in mind, DSP's 43. I don't even think Andy and PPP, they're probably in their 30s. So imagine a grown-ass man literally being humbled, being bitch-walked, dog-walked really, but Phil's a bitch, so we're gonna go with that. Being bitch-walked down the streets of Goutopia by guys that are literally younger than him. That's the wildest shit. That's the wildest shit. But yet some of y'all out there think that DSP has pride. How? Whatever. Whatever. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This is so crazy. It's so crazy. All right, let's go ahead and move positively onto our breakfast of choice. Let's see here. Let's go with a coffee shop aesthetic. There we go. There we go. There we go. We're serving everybody up, and we're going into, well, when I'm recording this, we're getting ready to go into the fall season. You know what that means? You know what that means? That's when we start taking requests. So if you have a particular name of a particular coffee that you want, you can always feel free to throw it down in the description. But most of y'all will probably just wait until I stream and then flood it that way, which that's kind of been the tradition. So it's a thing. But in any case, let's see here. Let's see if we have the right video, actually. Leave this one.
But
okay, I think we have it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Raw Phil. This was cut up by Diggs. And let's see, Darkside Phil speaks on his new $3,000 in a single stream goal. Kino Casino felt it. This is from April 3rd and 4th of 2025. So that's a thing. And without further ado, here we go.
But after that, we had one of the craziest, most supported streaming days I've ever had outside of a marathon. And the reason I say that is, you know, historically when I do marathons, they end up doing, you know, pretty well with support.
That's iffy. In the current timeline, like I said, I'm recording this in September, mid-September. Mid to late September, actually. Sorry, mid-late September. He just came off of a marathon, I think of Bad Games of 2024, I think, or whatever. It was trash. That's the whole point. It was trash. It was terrible. It was fucking horrible. Horrible, horrible. I basically had Raw Phil playing in the background, because of Raw Phil, and then Tevin, Almighty Tevin, praise be, put out his rendition on YouTube, so that's available. And I got a chance to kind of skim through that as well. That marathon was horrible. That marathon was horrible. Holy shit. It was terrible. It was terrible, terrible, terrible. One of his worst. And some of the donations or contributions or whatever seems kind of shifty. I don't trust it. But then again, this is Phil Burnell, DSP, Darkside Phil, Dark Geppetto. You shouldn't trust him anyway, because he is a pathological liar. Always remember that. So I don't trust a lot of the contributions that we're giving either. You know what I'm saying? I don't. And then somebody on Twitter, big ups to them, they have they basically do like a weekly tally of how he's doing. And I think they showed, it was either on Detractor Twitter or it's on the farms. But they basically went through the last like 3 or 4 marathons he's done, at least this year, and you can see where stuff's dropping off and whatnot. He's overextended himself with those marathons. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, these marathons are padding. These things are padding. Let me break down the fucking marketing scheme. Let me break down the con to you real fast. Okay, so $150 a stream, $300 a day, because there's 2 streams. Okay, so to have a DSP tries it, every 10 stream goals hit, right? That's $1,500. To sit there and have a marathon, which is when 100 goals have been hit, basically, that's 15 grand. The marathon, so they paid literally $15,000 just to get to this fucking marathon, right? If the marathon is at the end of the 100 goals. Then he's expecting you guys to shower him with at least $2,000 to $3,000 each marathon. He literally thinks he's got himself this money hack, this easy cash hack, and it's not working because he's bleeding them dry. He's never really giving them a chance to replenish. If the goal, let's go with that Gouty vampire shit. He's not giving them a chance to replenish. He's just constantly draining them. And he believes because you guys keep showing up every day, you guys have to have money. Because what are you guys doing here if you don't? SSI checks only last so long, Phil. Disability checks only last so long, Phil. And that's why he tries to have the marathons as close to the end of the month as he can, rather than the beginning of the month, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because if it was at the beginning of the month, assholes like me are going to be like, oh, well, he was just waiting on their disability checks. That's why he did it that way. You know what I'm saying? Look at how aggressive he is, begging the first 15 days of the month compared to the last, 14, 15 days of the month, whatever it may be, towards the end of the month. Look very closely at that. And then someone like James the Lesser, Agent Proper, Secret Limited, guys who've been around for a long time, they can back me up on this. When he was on Twitch, he did the exact same thing. Beginning of the month, bleed people as heavy as he could. At the end of the month, or the last, 2 weeks of the month or whatever, hit it with a light touch. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. And then beginning of the month, same shit. He's regurgitating the same habit. He's just doing it in a completely different way. It's wild to think about it. But those are small little nuances that you would have to have been around for some of that shit. But if you go back on the forums or Detractor Twitter far enough, you may find what I'm talking about. But it's like that. It's a disgusting situation. It's a disgusting situation, which leads to a much larger argument on what's the money situation looking like in the Snort Fort right now. It doesn't even matter if Cat works or not. Let's just go ahead and wipe that off the board. But what is the financial situation looking like over there? His drinking is ramping up. He's admitted that he has alcohol in his garage, which is what where he stores all of his shit at, which makes no goddamn sense. You would want to put that in a dark, cool place, not out in the fucking garage. But no one ever said DSP was sharp. Anyway, so he's got liquor out there. He's probably consistently buying or ordering liquor each and every week. The DoorDash has definitely been ramping up. I doubt that they ever really cook in that house. They may heat up food, but they don't cook, right? And then his WWE champion addiction is still going. You know what I'm saying? On top of the talks that there may be another wrestling game on the horizon. And actually, interestingly enough, I don't know if this is true or not, so you may want to talk to like TJ Gamebox about it. But if there is a new wrestling game coming out, are they going to let you transfer your account over? Not necessarily the peripherals of your account, meaning that all the cards and wrestlers are this, that, and the third. Because I would assume if this game really isn't being developed, it'll be a completely new game. But will they actually let you transfer your account over, and would they even give you some of your balance and credits to you for the new game if this whole new game is going on? It's just a rumor, and I have no proof of any of that. Something to think about.
And there's been some marathons where people have come in and just dropped like a monster tip, like $1,000 and stuff like that. So yeah, marathons typically are the best support events for me. But for like a normal streaming day, yesterday was absolutely insane. Just let me put this into perspective, okay?
And one more thing too, I want to point this out. The whole, 10 goals and then we get DSP tries it. It's literally the vestry. It's literally vestry. It may not have the concurrent, you know what I'm saying? It may not be concurrent and shit like the vest streak was, where we had to hit X amount of goals each and every day to keep the streak going. But the format's pretty much the same thing. And he treats it as such.
Yesterday, we started at 85 out of 90 goals. And I said to everyone, hey guys, I hope that we hit some goals today because I would like to do the Minecraft meals from McDonald's by the end of this week.
So you want, and that's another thing too. So you were hell bent on doing these Minecraft meals, but you didn't want to do the Krabby Patty shit? The fuck? He knows they're both made for kids, right? All right, I guess. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Just released, and it'd be really cool, to do those by the end of the week. Yesterday, we ended at...
Oh, in our current timeline, too, this idiot's more than willing to actually go out and pick up the food himself now, which is kind of funny because he's been criticized about that since he tried to revamp DSP Tries It, but now he's so desperate. He's willing to do any little thing he can to try to keep the money flowing, which, yet again, is the reason why, like, troll tipping is kind of looked down upon. A dark side Phil that's desperate is far more entertaining because he's going to be willing to do whatever it takes to keep the money flowing. In a lot of ways on what's going on with Activision now, if you know what I mean, if you follow Call of Duty like that and shit, all they did was create problems so they could sell you the solutions later. Big ups to Nero Cinema. And you're seeing that in real time. Now they're willing to not even bend over backwards to bring customers back. They're giving you shit they should have never taken from us in the first place. So it's like that. And interestingly enough, and I'll talk to Proper about this because I kind of want to work on this, and I might want to bring Declan. Well, not even might. I more than likely will at least bring Declan in. If not, if he wants to just advise, that'd be work too. But like, if you look at how the quote unquote shady practices that game companies do or studios do and whatever, DSP literally emulates all that shit. You know what I'm saying? He's literally a reflection of he is literally the victim who's now become the victimizer, if you will. And he's doing it in the exact same way as his predecessors, right? And I always found it to be super interesting. Not a lot of people bring it up because it's just some lame ass shit that only assholes like me would think about. But I do think it's really, really fascinating that the very methods and motives that he criticizes, he implements himself. Ultimate hypocrite, by far. The ultimate hypocrite.
At the end of the day, at 93 goals, I want you to think about that. We started at 85. We ended at 90 freaking 3. That's insanity. Never before, like I said, have we actually had a day that had that level of support. Now, I'm certainly not expecting that level of support on a regular basis. That's wildly insane, over the top.
That's literally a lie. You can tell by the way he keeps shutting his eyes and shit and does that bullshit. It's basically his own version of the piggy eye roll. He's sitting here telling you he doesn't expect it, but he realistically is like, yeah, I deserve this. And this is your obligation to me. You guys love my content this much. You should be doing it. There's no reason why you're not doing it.
Monstrously exceeding any kind of expectations or even dreams that I would think of for a normal day.
Imagine dreaming about getting $600 in a single day. That's pretty pathetic.
It was a combination of one particular person gifting over 100 subs on Kick, but because of that generosity, it prompted others to contribute. We had...
So if that's the case, then that right there would be a very good primer to fake tips then, right? Think about that. Think about what he just said. Now, this is coming off of, I'm not sure if this video's out yet, but I did a story, if you will, a report on a low tier god getting caught up on fucking A, man. It's over $7,000 that he owes, like $7,700 or some shit that he has to pay back to Twitch because he did some type of fucking bait and switch that basically came out to be fraud, or at least so it seems. So he has to pay that shit back, and he's been doing it over the last couple months. But the point being is that LTG is no different than the people that he watches. If he thinks that these people are inflating their numbers in some way to various degrees to appear successful, then that's what he's going to do too. Well, DSP is no different. So DSP faking tips to make it appear like, hey, people are really contributing or whatever, thinking that that would prompt other people to do so, they will. There's actually a thing on that. I can't remember what it's called, but I know somebody on the farms recently brought that up as well, where it's like, here, I'll give you a better concept, like the way that I understand it. Think of like you walking into like a Planet Smoothie or a Starbucks or whatever, right? And you see a tip jar, and you see that there's usually already a few bucks in it more often than not, especially if you go in early, right? You'll see a couple dollars and already in that shit. Well, that right there kind of, after you pay for whatever it is, and you're looking at your change, depending on whether you pay by card or whether you know you have some cash on you, if you see a few dollars already in the jar, it kind of prompts you to be like, well, oh, fuck it, I'll throw $2 or $3 in there just because. It's almost like a form, you could say it's like a form of shaming, but it's really meant to be like a form of encouragement. Maybe it's meant to be both. Same type of concept. And streamers have been doing this shit forever. You know what I'm saying? It's not uncommon. And most people, they don't do it so much now. You got to be really crafty to do this. But I remember a few streamers a couple years ago who used to take whatever the last total they had in tips from the night before, and then go ahead and just put it up there for the day stream the next day and start off that. And yet again, it was a clever way of continuing that quote unquote momentum. You know what I'm saying? So something along those lines. Under those pretense, would that not be a reasonable reason for people who are liars or losers who want to appear to be more than what they are to not do what they can occasionally, not necessarily all the time because people will catch on to it, but occasionally to get people to contribute? So, and keep in mind, you can't see DSP's actual tips. He's the only one that sees them, and then he puts them up there on the board. They could be whatever. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those anonymous tips or whatever, they come in at really particular times, and those are usually big tips. And yet again, there's no way of verifying it outside of what DSP is telling you. It's not like super chats or super thanks where you can track that shit, or even memberships. It is what it is. So something to keep in mind, something to think about. But here, let me bring that back though, just so you guys can hear it. Actually, I think I already did.
Had a day that had that level of support. Now, I'm certainly not expecting that level of support on a regular basis. That's wildly insane, over the top, monstrously exceeding any kind of expectations or even dreams that I would think of for a normal day. It was a combination of one particular person gifting over 100 subs on Kick, but because of that generosity, it prompted others to contribute. We had more than 2 other people who gifted a ton of subs on Kick. Then we have people who were tipping and super chatting. And this is what I've been saying. It's kind of a positive movement. When one person starts it, it continues.
See what I mean? So if he's peeping game on that, then you're telling me that he wouldn't try to fake it? So like I said, let's say the gifted subs and memberships are not fake. Fair enough. The tips might. And if he fakes $50 in tips or a $100 tip, and that prompts somebody to throw, oh, well, I'll throw out 50 gifted subs. Didn't he get what he wanted? You got to spend money to make money, right? So faking a tip is just that. It's just an expense. It's a phantom tip. It doesn't matter. It got the desired effect. Just something to take into consideration.
That's kind of how it happens. So it's called momentum, right? And that's a good thing, momentum. Getting people excited and hyped. People wanted to see the Minecraft meal. People wanted to see me exceed.
And he's contradicting himself too. He's saying that, that's what momentum is. That's what we need. That's what we want. But he just said, I'm not expecting big support every stream. But if you want to hit your goals and you want to hit them quickly, how are you going to do that? Interesting.
My goals, especially after, the last couple of weeks, what I've been through with the toxic negativity on the internet.
Uh-oh, now we got to go ahead and go into the sympathy begging. You know what I'm saying? I'm such a victim. Poor me. Poor piggy. Oh. Everybody hates me. I don't understand why. I'm not a bad guy. Oh. Oh.
People, I think, just wanted to see me have a win, being that I am attempting to persevere through all this
I'm attempting to persevere? I thought that's just what you do. Now you're attempting to persevere? Huh? Okay.
nonsensical drama, this vortex that swims around me, and I'm not part of.
So then why are you in a position where you're attempting to persevere? Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I didn't hear it right. Let me bring that back. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what maybe I misheard that.
And hype. People wanted to see the Minecraft meal. People wanted to see me exceed my goals, especially after, the last couple of weeks, what I've been through with the toxic negativity on the internet. People, I think, just wanted to see me have a win, being that I am attempting to persevere through all this nonsensical drama, this vortex that swims around me, and I'm not part of. I'm literally at the eye of a storm, and all these people circle around me trying to create drama that I just refuse to engage in.
So then why do you have to attempt to persevere then? And if you have it so down bad and people see that in you, why would they be so desperate to see you get a win if you're not involved in any of it? And him saying not involved is supposed to be a double entendre. He's basically trying to say that it doesn't affect me, right? But he doesn't want to come out and say that because then he can't play the sympathy angle. So what are we doing exactly?
So, yeah, some people certainly pooped their diapers yesterday, if you know what I'm saying. When this happened, they couldn't take it.
And then if you're in the eye of the storm, you don't let it affect you, you don't care about it, you're not paying attention, then how do you know people are supposedly losing their shit because you're getting all this money? It seems like more sympathy baiting, if you ask me. Oh, well.
They lost their minds and they just tried to cope and make all kinds of excuses for it, even though it's completely ridiculous. Obviously, people like positive content. They want to be here to hang out with me. They want to enjoy games. They want to enjoy gaming news, chill podcasting, and stuff that is.
But that's not the reason why people contribute to you. You said that the reason why big support came in for that last event is because people wanted to see you get a win. That doesn't have shit to do with seeing positive support, trying to hang out and chill with you and have a good time. No. That's them trying to fight back against the trolls. So which one is it, champ? Do you put out positive content that people want to support? Or do people feel bad for you and they did sympathy tips and whatnots for you to get a win? Because you can't have both. It has to be one or the other. But then again, if you're a pathological liar and you're mentally ill, you can go ahead and flip the script any way you see fit. Womp womp.
It's done without harming others. No bullying, no defamation or slander, no attacking, no schoolyard bullshit antics. Instead, just meaningful content. Some people don't understand what that means in 2025.
You don't even know what the definition of meaningful content is, because you just told us that the reason why people supported you is because they wanted to see you get a win, not because of the validity of your content or the value of it, because of the outside element that supposedly doesn't affect you. You know, the shit that you're attempting to fight against so you can attempt to persevere and keep going. Does he not understand what he's saying? Maybe he doesn't have a grasp of the English language in the way he thinks he does. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It's possible. Wouldn't be the first.
Well, now you do. It's what I make and what people support. So there you go.
But what you make isn't good. So that's the reason why people wanted to see you get a win. They wanted to see you get it's like a Punic victory, if you will. You lost the battle. You damn sure definitely are losing the war, but they gave you some ass pats on the way out. That's really all it is. But all right, whatever.
So, great day yesterday, obviously. Both streams, by the way. You know, the first stream, a lot of this took place right on the podcast, and then it continued into the gameplay portion of Atomfall.
Oh, he's being real stupid, by the way, too. This whole thing where we're not doing podcasts, we're not going to do podcasts every day or whatever. We're going to have just hanging out or chill sessions with DSP. He's starting to do them at night, too. It's really lame because he's trying to offset the criticism that he doesn't do DSPN anymore, which doesn't matter. That's just mine now anyway. But he doesn't want to talk about gaming news anymore because he really doesn't have anything to say. And more importantly than that, he's already been found out on what accounts that he's following on Twitter/X, where he's getting his news from. So that doesn't work out because he's just regurgitating what's being said down in the thread anyway. So it's really silly that it's come down to, okay, we'll do a podcast 3 days a week and whatnot, and then we'll have these little chill out sessions to try to get to a certain amount of viewership, and then we'll start. When realistically, they just turn into 30, 45 minutes, damn near an hour at times. Those are going to start getting longer too. Just like I told you all those years ago, that watch how the fucking Bottom Bitch podcast ends up becoming a much larger chunk, and it's going to start fading out some of the gameplay or how much gameplay he's going to have to do. You're going to see the same thing with these chill segments. Those things are just going to progressively start getting longer, and then he'll call it something else. You know what I'm saying? Like right now he's calling it Chill with Phil or whatever the fuck, but eventually he'll turn it into something else, right? If he can get it to have enough momentum. Because the reality is, the end game is to stop playing games for 4+ hours or more during the day streams, unless they really can be supported. If not, you punish them by making the gameplay less and less and less and dragging it out. And then eventually putting that shit under the Gouty guillotine, because this is Tipquisition. And hey, if you guys don't go ahead and support me, I'm gonna have to cut this game loose. That's literally what the scheme is.
And then last night for Disco Elysium, again, another stream that massively exceeded anything that I expected. I was just hoping that we get some support for it, and we made almost $300 on the stream. I'm like, holy crap.
Why are you sitting there hoping for people to support support content that you yourself just said is meaningful, hence the reason why they do support it? So why do you not have any confidence in your own product that you're literally dreaming about, hoping for people to support it? Why are you putting yourself in a position where mentally you're basically forcing yourself to persevere to keep going in a situation that supposedly doesn't affect you? Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop.
So
I don't smell no bacon cooking.
Pretty darn awesome. And I'm very excited. I am very excited for the future. I hope that obviously we can continue positivity, but I'm certainly not thinking that we're going to get that level of support every stream. That being said, we are now in a weird position. We went from 85 to 93. All right, we've got today and tomorrow for streaming days. I'm off on Saturday. Sunday is my big birthday marathon event. It's my actual birthday and a big marathon that I'm doing here on the channel where we're going to be playing Minecraft for the first time in many years. I'll be building a Minecraft Lego set live. I'll be drinking per levels of support. You know, every $100 that I raise, I'm going to take a shot of your choice. I got to get some moonshine.
That's another thing too that fucking is wild to me. You got someone who has admitted he's an alcoholic. There is no former there. Let's drop that part. He's an alcoholic. And he somehow convinced Dents to give him money to drink. Now, the funny thing is, if you guys know your lore, back in like 2017, 2018, 2019, he drank a couple times or whatever. But he was really loose, no pun intended. He, like his sister-in-law, he used to be really loose with his lips and shit when he used to, you know what I'm saying, when he used to get sauced up. But then the depression hits, and then he get into some pity segment. They were kind of interesting. If you ever go back and look at them, they're pretty interesting watches. But now his tolerance is so goddamn high that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So now in the current day and age in September, we're literally begging people to fucking give him money so he can take shots. He got so desperate that, let me show you what kind of alcoholic this ass ton is. He was so desperate in the stream that just the marathon or whatever that just passed, that he someone was like, hey, why don't you just bring the value, or not the value, the cost, let's do that, bring the cost of the shots down from 100 to like 50 or something. He said, okay, give me $200 right now and I'll do 4 shots. Wait, what? No. He said bring the value down, or bring the cost down. Value, there's no value in any of this shit. Bring the cost down and it'll be easier. What does he do? Oh no, I still want that money. I still want that 200 or the 2 shots worth, but I'll go ahead and give you guys half price. So instead of bringing the actual cost down, I'll give you more value for your dollar. So he essentially thought he could trick them into giving him the exact same thing that he was already asking for. He's just willing to double up so he could be a little bit more saucy, if you will, because he was desperate to keep this buzz going or get a buzz or whatever. He was like literally getting angry that people weren't giving him money to drink. That's fucking crazy. And if I remember correctly, I may have missed this part, so I'm gonna have to go back and look. But if what I'm hearing is true, the Tanqueray bottle ain't sat there and made an appearance. Now I don't know if that's the case. I haven't watched it yet. If it is, great. If it isn't, womp womp. But that'd be hilarious if it was. But just imagine how much of a scumbag alcoholic that you are. That you're saying, oh yeah, I'll bring the price down. Give me $200 right now. I'll do 4 shots, and then every shot after that will be $50. Yikes. Fucking yikes. Woo, shit.
This Saturday, per your request, I'm going to get moonshine and try it for the first time on Sunday, which will be cool. But in addition to that,
what makes something like this? I got to tell you, and I say something because I don't really look at him as a person, but what happened to you in your early years that had you come out like this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a mental sponge, right? He absorbs what's around him. That's clearly how he developed into what he is, right? He didn't learn these things. He absorbed them. He saw it. He saw how it worked. Even if it was a disadvantage to him, he automatically took it in and be like, well, how can I make this a disadvantage to other people? And make sure that it's always an advantage to me. Just like that whole situation with Steve from Truth Seekers and Broside Phil, where I think they were asking him about I want to say it was when they were talking to him about the polygraph, or whatever it is that they were asking for him to do. And at the end of it, DSP was like, wait, how does this have me come out being the winner? How does this actually help me come out looking good? That right there should have been telling the people back then. You know what I'm saying? And yet again, it's situations like that immediately go back to the situation with Derek. And I haven't done that video yet. I will. Like, it's on the list. I may even do it. You might actually see it in November, maybe. I don't know if I want to put that in December yet, because I've kind of already got a bunch of ideas for that. We'll see. But maybe it might make it in there in November, hopefully. But if you really think about it, though, the way he defended Derek, right, like tooth and nail, like tooth and fucking nail, or hoof and fucking tusk, he fucking fought for Derek. But what it really makes me think now is DSP is well aware of the degenerates, the pedophiles, the alleged groomers, and all the other weird shit that's going on in his community. And he looked at it. He looked at it as, if I take the knee now and give Derek up, then all those other fucking degenerates that I fucking protect who give me money, whether on stream or behind the scenes, they may leave me. I want you to try to think about it I want you to consider it from that standpoint. Derek, it wasn't about just protecting Derek. It was about protecting every other degenerate piece of garbage shit that Phil knows about in his group. He don't care, because as long as he gets the money. And that's the reason why he fought as hard as he did. And that's why he said, well, he was the devil I know. Well, what happens if these guys drum up something else? That was DSP damn near putting up the dinner bell, you know what I'm saying? PPP's dinner bell, if you will, to be like, hey, come look at my community a little closer, and guess what else you guys are going to find? Innocent people don't do that. If you really don't have no problems in your community like that, you don't have to sweat small things like that. You shouldn't even want people like that around. But he fought hard for the nut for fucking Derek. And the more that I think about it, the more it's like, why? Like, what was the real end game to that shit? It's not like DSP didn't lie to them anyway and just tell Derek to show up under a sock account. But why did he fight that hard for that long? Makes you think.
There's going to be food that my wife's going to be making. And we actually started talking about what kind of food she's going to make that I'll be eating live during the show. That'll be fun. It's like a birthday meal that she's going to make for me. But in addition to that, now we're going to be trying this Schedule 1 game that I guess has gone viral on Steam. And people are saying it's really fun and interesting. Tons of people playing it. So we're going to try that. And then if we have any extra time, hey, we do whatever, right? We could literally do whatever you guys want. We can hang out. We can just chill. We can play some games.
Overpromised and underdelivered. If you guys remember what that marathon turned out to be, they all are like that, though. They're all fucking trash fires. All of it. He does whatever he can to try to sell you the lie. You know what I'm saying? To sell you the Goutopian the Goutopian dream. Once you get there, though, it's a toxic waste. It's a fucking dump. You know what I'm saying? It's voluntary slavery, if you will. Or indentitude, if you will. That's all it is. Like, Jesus Christ. The fucking worst.
Player games, whatever, I'm down for it. So pretty excited for sure for Sunday's event. But here's the thing. We got today and tomorrow and Sunday, likely between those 3 days.
Oh, and now that I think about it, does the money that's made during the marathon go towards the goals and whatnot for the next DSP tries or whatever? I always wonder that. I'm pretty sure they don't. And whatever. If they don't, then that right there should be even more egregious, if you will. He's not even willing to reinvest back into the actual streak. It's not a streak, but back into the fucking goal, if you will. That he's not taking a portion of the money raised, if not all of it, and putting it right back in, leading up into the next DSP tries it. Something to think about.
Let's be honest, we're probably going to get to 100 goals. Now, the question is, what do we want to do when we hit 100 goals? We really have to think about it seriously now. Like, what is it that we're going to do? Because here's the thing. We're doing a marathon on Sunday already. So maybe it's not a marathon. Maybe it's something different. Do we just do another DSP tries it?
Look at that. He after making fucking $15,000. Oh, I'm already doing a marathon. So you guys want to do another DSP tries it? Would you guys like me to spend another $100 and whatnot on you peasants? It's not even on them, because it's not like they reap the benefits of it. But I'll spend another $100 on you peasants, so I can walk away with the other $14,900? That's crazy work. That's so silly. And none of them catch it. That's the really wild part. None of the trolls in the comment section or in the chats, they get it. But they're trolls. They're supposed to get it. But none of the denser NPCs fucking get that shit. You're getting nothing. Nothing. And then when the DSP tries it shows up, he's going to expect you guys to contribute then too. So he literally makes all of his money back. The cost of the meal, which makes no sense. He should just have Kat drive out there and get it. Which leads to a whole nother cornucopia of shit. If she's already on her way home, or if she's already home, why don't you just send her out to get it? Why do you have to DoorDash everything? And I'm thinking it's because he's paranoid. He's scared that Kat's gonna get caught up in the wild by herself, I guess, or whatever, or she don't work And he already figures that we've already figured that part out. So he doesn't want to further expose that. I have no clue. I have no clue. That whole situation just sounds weird. And obviously, when he says on our days off, we ran out and ran errands, no, they didn't. They stayed home. And they door dashed everything, and whatever bills they had, they paid it online. Womp womp.
Do we brainstorm something bigger or better, but maybe we push it off for a week or two, because that way we don't have 2 back-to-back marathons? Because here's the thing. I think that Sunday's marathon will go well. It's my birthday. It's on a Sunday, so it's a weekend. It's going to go well. But if I do another marathon in a couple of days, you're going to have less attendance, less engagement, less support. People aren't going to like it as much because we just did one. Marathons are good because they're special, and we do them, you know, like once a month. Like,
He sounds like a child. Like a child sounds like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just kind of like some wild ass shit. Like, and the thing is, too, is even with his reasoning, he thinks like a kid. Instead of, why don't you just go ahead and maybe, just bank that marathon altogether, and then just use it a couple months down the line or whatever. Just memory hold that shit. He's good for that. They already paid for it. You already made the money off of it. Who cares? But his obsession with it's special, it's neat, it's cool, it's unique, whatever, you guys have to contribute to it, is just the wildest shit. And he doesn't even realize that it's diminishing returns. You know what I'm saying? The more and more that you have them work towards hitting it, the less it means to them later on, especially when there's really no inherent value. It's not content, it's literally nonsense. It's slop. And even he's starting to get more and more irritated because the money isn't flowing, and he really don't care to do it. On top of the fact that gaming itself is pissing him off. He's proving himself to be what people like myself and others have said for years. He's tapped out. The games are too difficult mentally, or they're too demanding physically, and he just can't keep up. His reactions and reflexes are shot. He's having a harder and harder time learning shit. He can't even figure out the puzzles anymore. Not to say that the puzzles are difficult. He's literally tapped.
we did the Mega Man Marathon in January. We did the Viewer's Choice in February, and we just did the 5 Nights at Freddy's in March. So the birthday marathon makes sense to do in April. You don't want to see 2 marathons back to back, right?
Oops it.
So the question is, what do we do? I'm open to suggestions. I want to know what you guys would be interested in if I hit 100 goals. Not if, but when I hit 100 goals. And if it's just not a marathon, then what exactly would it be? Right? Like, what would it be that we do for it? I don't know. Let's think about it. Let's talk about it. Let's figure this out together. And I'm willing, you know, if you remember, there was different things we done. One day we did a Lego night once, right? That was fun. So, you know, different things. Thing is, Legos are coming up. We're doing Legos on Sunday. And are you ready for this? I have an update for all of you, okay?
When's the last time he did anything Legos now I think about it? I think that's completely been abandoned at this point. That was abandoned. The WWE card openings were abandoned. That's after Smart Guys basically failed. What else? What are the little gimmicks that he tried to do that basically went nowhere after a period of time? The DSP tri-sets are stale. I mean, but they've been stale, to be honest with you. They've been stale. He's not... He likes the idea of being paid 15 grand to get just regularly available fucking fast food. But when you start getting into like the mom and pop spots, or you start getting into the culturally themed restaurants or whatever, he's already kind of pissing those opportunities away too. He should have did that a long time ago. Kind of like when he should have played independent PC games a long time ago too. He could have actually built up an audience or a reservoir for that. I can't think what other little gimmicks he tried to do. I want to say puzzles, but we just talked about that. He can't. I could never see him doing like 100 or 500 or 1,000 piece puzzle on stream. That must be embarrassing. Or maybe he has done that, and maybe I'm misremembering. Or maybe that was someone else. Because there's somebody on Twitch. Now that I think about it, this guy on Twitch. He does like these really big ass puzzles, and then he frames them, and then he does like not a raffle, and it's not a giveaway. I don't know really how to explain it, because it's not a raffle and it's not a giveaway. Well, it's not a raffle and it's not like a... It is a giveaway. It's certainly a giveaway, but it's not like you have to like pay into it. Like it's like a random drawing, so it is a giveaway. But And if you win the fucking drawing and shit, he sends it to you, which is kind of neat. At all expenses on his end, and it's really fucking cool, to be honest with you. But and they just recently got popular. Well, maybe not just recently. They've been doing it for about a year, well, 6 months. I'd say at least 6 months since I started watching, and it's real interesting stuff. Real interesting shit. And on top of that, people from he also does another thing too, where he'll have people that are in the audience, basically in the chat, send him puzzles, and he'll actually put it together, frame it for you, and everything. And he'll send it right back to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, no problem. So that's kind of cool too. A neat little thing. I mean, I gotta tell you, like, when you really think about what you can do on Twitch, you can do a lot. You know what I'm saying? But then again, you could say that for the wider internet at large. I'm sure there's people who do YouTube videos doing that shit too. And I just haven't come across it yet.
So I went ahead and I got our next Lego project for when we're actually going to do Lego Nights, not just the special Lego event we're doing for my birthday, but for when Lego Nights come back into the schedule. Per our discussions on this show, I have purchased the Piranha Plant Super Mario Lego set. It is really cool. Like, I can't wait to build this thing. It looks neat. It's good quality. Apparently, it even has some customizations available, which I didn't even know. So I don't know if it necessarily needs to have the green pipe because it shows some other colors, like there's a flower pot and other stuff. So pretty cool. I'm excited to build this with you guys.
Too bad he never did a Street Fighter theme one, but whatever. I don't think he ever did the Mario Kart theme one either. Or maybe he did. Maybe. He might have actually done the Mario Kart theme one. But he never did a Street Fighter one, which is unfortunate.
Guys, coming up, we're not going to do it.
But remember, a lifelong fan of Street Fighter, though.
It right away simply because we're already doing the Minecraft Lego. But how cool would this be in my background, right? This would be something really cool to put into the background for the set. So that's coming up. And I'm definitely excited for that. Okay. That's true. Soggy says, hey, good time for this with the Switch 2 and everything going on. You're right. Like, perfect timing for that. Right? All right. So
it's like someone dangling keys in front of their cat or some shit. Jesus Christ.
we need to figure out is this 100 goals thing. We really have to start talking about it because we could hit it soon. We could hit it. I'm thinking we may even hit it on Sunday, like during the marathon. We may hit it. So what should it be?
And that's the reason why he's so desperate to keep throwing it in your face. So it motivates you to actually do it. It's funny because it's almost like he's inducing a form of mental and financial exhaustion. Hey guys, we're really, really close to this. It'd be great if we could hit this soon. Look, I already purchased this. Hey, we need to start talking about it. And he inundates you with that bullshit. He's relentless with it, to be honest with you. People talk about his perseverance and whatever. I guess you could say this is part of that. But he's really relentless when he's really close to essentially busting a nut or getting his payoff, if you will. He's really, really relentless about that shit. And it's beyond the point of OCD or obsession or whatever. It's far beyond that. It's absolutely relentless. And that's something that could be somewhat, I don't know if I would use respect, that's too strong of a word, but it's something that can be acknowledged, let's say that. But he does that on purpose too. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because someone who he himself doesn't like being inundated with shit, doesn't like being bothered or badgered or whatever, he has no problems, I should say, doing that to other people to get his own way. Imagine that.
And honestly, if we're going to do another marathon, the way I see it is we should do it in a week after the birthday marathon, but I don't know how well that would work. 2 marathons in such close proximity. Okay, so maybe we don't do 2 marathons, but then what do? We got to start talking. What do you guys think, right?
Maybe just have a birthday event and then do a marathon a week or 2 after that. But see, no, his birthday is special, so it has to be a marathon without question.
Oh, yes. Usagi says, I've noticed I love seeing these McDonald's figurines in the background. You probably can't see them because they don't stand out that well. Here they are. So from the Minecraft meals that I got yesterday, we've got the zombie hamburglar, which
funny thing too is Wings' wife Kelly, the recipient of that Pepsi power bomb, she's really big on that too. And in our current day and age, we know that DSP is under Wings of Redemption troll videos. Lumix for sure. I don't know if I've seen him under Breaking Banquet yet. He's under his DSP Reacts channel when he comments under there. But he's definitely been under Lumix. Big ups to Lumix and Breaking Banquet, sorry. I wonder if he's been watching those videos where Kelly comes on there and shows all the stuff that she gets from McDonald's, the toys, I should say, and that's what ended up sparking the idea and whatnot. It's easy to say, oh, well, no, he saw the thing on, line or whatever, and he's like, oh, well, that'll be a good gimmick for these dents and fucking NPCs that I got around me. But the reality is, if he's been ingesting Wings troll content, he may have gotten the idea from there too, and just shifted it to make it basically, make it appear as if it was his own.
I actually it's a zombie from Minecraft, but it's dressed like the Hamburglar. Okay, I do like that figure. And then we've got the Grimmest Egg, which I call the Grimmest Turd because it looks like the poop emoji with the Grimace's face on it. Don't ask me why that's supposed to be something cool. I think this is cool. This is stupid. Okay, but those are the two collectibles that I got with the adult meals that I got from McDonald's yesterday. Okay. A poop. Purple poop. Okay. Cool.
Wow. Okay.
Well, in 2045, they'll be worth $300 each. Well, there you go. I just have to wait 20 years. All right. Well, so I don't know what you guys want to do. I want you to start throwing me ideas. What ideas do you guys have for us for the 100 goal celebration? All right. Let's start thinking. Let's start talking about it because we want people to get motivated for it, obviously. And it's hard to get motivation if you don't know what the reward or the upcoming thing is, right? That's what it's called. You want.
Isn't that supposed to be your job? Should you be coming up with that? They gave you the money to do said thing. Okay, now you guys need to plan out and organize what said thing is. And then I'll show up and reap even more money off of you. Holy shit.
That momentum. But how do you have momentum when you don't know what's happening, right? So let's talk about it.
And that's a fascinating thing, too. How he can do literally next to nothing and still somehow, some way reap the benefits from it. That's the wildest shit. It really is. It really is. It's nothing to be jealous of either, or envy of, or envious of, I should say. It's none of that. It's not worth any of that at all. Because it just shows you how much of a nothing burger he is, right? It shows you how little, if nothing, he actually brings to the table, and he's completely and utterly dependent on everybody else. And yet, he looks down upon those people. He doesn't respect those people. He doesn't like those people. You know what I'm saying? And yet, he's what he's garnered is what he deserves. You are the tribe that you attract. That's the irony of it all. That's why he's so desperate to be like, I'm an intelligent person. I'm a mature person. I have all this experience. Why won't people listen to me? You do have people listen to you, but he doesn't look at those people as people. That's the problem. He doesn't view the people in his audience as people. They're only to be used and cast away once all of their usage has been used up. That's wild.
And see what you guys think. And go from there. All right, cool. Alive Ask the King. See, here's the thing. There's a good reason why we got rid of Ask the King 2 years ago. Did you notice no one really cares anymore? Because even though it was a legacy show and people like to keep it around because it was something from my past, we talk every day now. I mean, we frequently do Q&A on this show. I do.
It's not good to Q&A, though. The reality is he should have done it. He should do it twice a year, to be honest with you. He should do it twice a year. He's obviously going to put it behind a paywall. I think what it is he hasn't figured out how to put it behind a paywall yet. That's all it is. If he could do fuck that. Let's be greedy about this for a minute. If he could do 4 shows a year, which is basically a show every 3 months, he would. He just hasn't figured out a way to monetize it. That's the thing. And then he may have to answer some uncomfortable questions that he doesn't want to answer. So there's a reason why he dropped it.
late night chill with Phil streams were
That, and he was getting frustrated. He was actually starting to get frustrated that people were asking him the same questions, just rewording it. He was getting pissed off by that because he was starting to get caught up in his own lies, which was really fascinating, to be honest with you. Or he was expanding upon stories or lore. He was retconning his stories. Let's be honest. He was just rewriting shit, and it was starting to catch up to him. And that was another reason why he straight up abandoned it. That's why he's so selective about what he answers on the Bottom Bitch podcast or the Daily Therapy Session.
will randomly just hang out and talk. So because of that, I don't see the point in having Ask the King. Even if we brought it back for a onesie episode, I don't know what it would really be. You know what I mean? I mean, right now, I would argue that DSP Tries It is our longest running legacy show, right? Because that's been one that I started back when I was...
No, it's the one that's the most profitable. That's what he really means.
You know, not even monetizing content yet. And I was doing DSP Tries It. So you're talking over, 15 plus years ago.
The videos were monetized though, but semantics. I know what he means.
No poorly cooking with the king for the zillionth time.
Because neither one of the idiots in that house can fucking cook.
All of my content is in this room. It's all confined to my...
And that's another thing too. If for someone who supposedly has nothing to hide, he goes out of his way to hide shit. And it makes sense. Like, I would assume the furniture downstairs is probably not in the best shape. He himself has said that the house itself is not in the best shape, even though in our current timeline, he has allegedly, of course, said that he has fixed all 3 of the toilets in his house. I call X to doubt on that shit. Matter of fact, see, I don't want to let that out the bag because I'm working on the outline of a video on that. Well, it's in my head. I don't write a script. But, fuck it. I'm going to still do the video. But the reality is, or at least what I think, is that week that he was gone, I think he may have had renovation work come in. I think that's what the week that mysterious week where everybody thinks he went wherever he was doing whatever, so on and so forth. Some of it's good, some of it's some of the theories are good, some of it is just speculation and should probably just stay as speculation. My theory is that's when he actually had the work done. He had people come in, he had them turn off the water, he had them lift those toilets up, they had them work on the piping and shit. If supposedly the bathroom, the master bath, if supposedly there was a leak behind that wall and it was protruding, or the pipes were getting rusted, or whatever lame ass excuse he was giving, he was probably having that fixed too. Because remember, he's looking at it as, I need to refinance my home. Now that's because he's retarded and he thinks it's just gonna be free money. And keep in mind, he has no intentions of paying off the Snort for it. He's gonna die in that bitch. He has no intention of paying it off at all. Because if he did, he would put every chunk of money that he could to pay it off as quickly as possible, or even lower his interest rates, or just be able to put more money towards the principal, right? So he could have it paid off in fewer years. He has no intention of paying it off at all. He's okay with dying in that house. He's okay with dying in that house with that house being unpaid, just like with the condo in Connecticut. He has no problem with that. That's the end game. And I can't find the soundbite for this. Send a SnortBucks video for sure. Mimology might have it too. But he had said that someone asked him, like, hey, if you pass away or if Kat passes away, how is the other going to cope, or how they're going to deal with it, this, that, and third. If I remember correctly, he said if he passes away, oh, well, she's just going to have to figure out what she's going to do. And he really meant that. He never tried to retcon it. He never tried to go back and try to clean it up or anything. He meant it. Once he's dead and gone, she's just going to have to fend for herself. So if there's still a mortgage that needs to be paid, if there's a bunch of unpaid bills, whatever, oh, sorry, bitch, you're going to have to figure it out. And Phil's an idiot, so he doesn't have any insurance on himself at the very least. So that's nothing for her. So in a lot of ways, he wants that house to be lost and to be resold after he's gone. He doesn't have a legacy. He don't want kids. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to leave anything bad for the world and shit. The world exists for him to be comfortable while he's in it. Once he's gone, he doesn't give a fuck about any of that. So anyway, that's what that video will be later on. But that's what I think would happen. I think that he had them come in and he had them fix all that shit up. And he's slowly but surely trying to do whatever he needs to do to bring the house up to code so he can go ahead and get the refinancing done. That's my theory, of course. Not necessarily a Theo theory, but Big ups to Theo, but that's my theory.
Studio. That way, it doesn't seep into my private life.
And because DSP is a fucking egomaniac, he decided to go ahead and unveil that new lore that doesn't even make sense when you listen to it, because then it makes me think, how old are the toilets in that house? But whatever. That's when he decided to go ahead and bring up that new lore about how he went ahead and, I'm a big kid now, and fixed all the toilets in his fucking bathroom and all that silly ass shit. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
People don't try to get information about me in my private life, which is dangerous and scary that people do, but they do all the time. You know, content must be, you know, in here. So it's that simple. I can't do poorly cooking in the freaking room. Plus, I don't cook. Just being honest. So there you go.
That's funny. That means all those years where he used to say, "Oh yeah, I decided to cook for Kat tonight," or "I did this, I did that." You didn't do shit. You heated crap up. Oh, that stir fry he used to make for her? Nah, it was probably something already in a bag or in a bowl, and you just throw that shit in the microwave. So fuck off to that shit. But on top of that, given what he just said about that, you know, no more poorly cooking with the king or whatever the fuck, that kind of only furthers my argument. In that everything's being delivered to the house anyway. They don't even leave. Outside of haircuts and doctor appointments, they don't leave the house unless they have to. They don't leave the house unless they have to. And when you get into those situations where he has like 2 days off in a row, you don't know what day he left the house. So they may stay in the house one day, stealth, get everything delivered, and then the next day they go off. I would assume if someone ever got footage of them going to the car, which is in the garage, he's not going to leave it outside, or if you saw them out in the wild, they're pretty paranoid, or at least Phil is. I would assume DSP is incredibly paranoid. Every little laugh that he hears, every little loud noise, all of that shit probably freaks him the fuck out. I'm sure it's a sight to behold.
Let's do a couple shout outs. We have a couple contributions that came in. So let's get the momentum started today, since it is a new day. So yeah, here's the thing. People love to say dumb shit like, oh, well, you had a really great day yesterday, so that means today you don't need any support. But no, that's not how it works. That's not how business works. That's not how life works. Just because you have a good day doesn't mean now you want to have a series of bad performances, because then it negates the good day. So what we want.
So basically, the good day is my bonus. That's it. Now it's time to get back to our regularly scheduled program. Gotcha, Phil. That's literally what he's saying. Oh no, all the profits that came out for that marathon or that good day we had before, hey, that's already on the spreadsheet. It's already been spent. Now we back to our regularly scheduled program. There are no reserves. There are no savings. There is no investing. This is a day-to-day, hand-to-hand business.
To do is keep the momentum going. We want to try to hit the goals every stream if we can. It ain't gonna happen every stream, but let's do it. Today we got a nice chill podcast. We got Pirate Yakuza, where we're gonna hang out. We're back in Honolulu. We're gonna be doing side missions, but also advancing the main plot. This is what we want to do. So let's do that. Let's continue with the momentum. Let's do some quick shout outs as we begin our day. What's one audacious goal I want to reach this year? I already said, I want to have a day where during that day, I actually am more profitable than the day last year when I did the Review Tech React collab. Because that, by far, that collab day was my most profitable day of 2024. I want to top that this year, but do it for myself. Not say, oh, you're profitable that day because, you know, you had a collab. No, I want to do it for myself. I want to top that. I think I think I made around $3,000 that day, because I think it was like in tips that.
You see how he was sat there beating his little piggy titties? Let's bring that back. That show's hilarious.
Because that, by far, that collab day was my most profitable day of 2024. I want to top that this year, but do it for myself. Not say, oh, you're profitable that day because, you know, you had a collab. No, I want to do it for myself.
That's hilarious. Now, on top of that, though, this is what I'd already said earlier about how, he wants to break these invisible shackles, I guess, that are on him or that were placed upon him by Kino Casino and be his own man. The reality is, if you're a little too late to that dance, if you wanted to be your own man, you would have never collabed with Kino Casino in the first place. If you could stand on your own too, you would have done that in the first place. You didn't. And you didn't because you couldn't. And who's to believe that you can do any of that now? Now that the Kino Casino fucking stimulus package is gone, basically, there's nothing else for you. That's the reality. Now, don't get me wrong, Phil has had some situations over the years where he pulled in a lot of money. Let's be honest. But those days are probably long gone unless it's only iced coffee on some type of binge, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Or unless he's collaborating with only Ice Sakai or some shit and whatever. And actually, that's probably the only way you're really going to see a real successful stream, single stream, is if his fucking pay pigs or whales actually spoke to each other behind the scenes and collaborated to make it happen. Other than that, I don't see it. And on top of that, I can see DSP using fake tips to pad that shit just to get him over the line or over the goalpost, if you will. Remember, he values his fucking ego over money. I know that's hard to believe, but it's the truth. He values his ego over money. That's the whole reason why this DSP tries it bullshit even exists. Hey guys, I can get people to give me $150 a day or $150 a stream or $300 a day. People value DSP tries it. That's why this is here. People value my marathons. That's the reason why that's after 100. So you see what I'm saying? Like everything is self-glorified or self-grandizing. He does it like that on purpose. Well, under those circumstances, if he had to fake, let's say, a quarter of that income, 30% of it, does it really matter in the end? Instead of getting the 15 grand, if he only walks away with, let's say, 12 grand, is that still not a win? Something to consider.
I want to top that. I think I think I made around $3,000 that day, because I think it was like in tips that day alone I made over 1,000, and on YouTube I made like almost 2,000 because of super chats and memberships. So I totally want to top that, but I don't know how. I don't know what kind of content would top that, but I want to beat that. I want to be able to do that for myself and say
and yet you're not doing it for yourself because you don't have a clear idea, plan, or strategy to actually get there. And that right there goes back to what I said earlier about how he's so codependent on people. He himself doesn't even have a plan. He just wants it to manifest. And that's literally what he does. He talks out of his ass and hopes that it can manifest and it just happens. Or that other people, if you will make it happen. The littlest amount of effort possible and hopes that it's going to be a big payoff. Just one day, someone's going to come in and give him $3 grand. Now, keep in mind, there was that one guy who popped up who said he was a fan of DSP for 11 years, 12 years, whatever the fuck it was, and he gave that amount of money. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember how much it was now. It was over $1,000. I'm pretty sure. And he ended up giving that to him and whatever. So you do have those outliers, right? But to have the culmination of all of them show up at once and just rain money on them like that, that's doubtful. Not unless it's coordinated.
Was as successful, if not more successful, without needing someone else to push me over the edge, that I did it myself. You see? Will it happen? I don't know. When would it happen? This Sunday on my birthday bash. Yeah, right. No, it's not. Again, I doubt it's ever going to happen. I would have to pull out all the stops. It would have to be like a stream where I do a bunch of firsts. So I shave my beard like I said I would. I smoke weed or something. Like I'd have to do like 10 stunts to ever hit anything like that, I feel. And I don't think I'm not a guy who likes to do stunts and shit on stream. I don't want to do that, you know.
So you consider smoking weed a stunt, but you don't consider drinking as a stunt? When he does those truck driving sims, doesn't he drink when he's doing that? That's not considered a stunt? Drinking and driving? Okay.
No. John did a $2 super chat. Does Kick have any point when YouTube exists? Well, I do feel like Kick number one. All right, the chat's a little bit better than YouTube chat.
He says that shit for every platform he jumps to. Every monkey bar fucking cock that he jumps from one to another, he says that shit. The reality is he's going back to Twitch. It's the only platform that he actually has some legacy in. And he does, interestingly enough, despite what I said earlier, he does seem to value that. But he only values it because he's around. Once he's gone, he's not going to care. So he does actually have some legacy over there. He just doesn't have an affiliate or a partnership, if you will. But excuse me, with Twitch implementing that, you know, even first-time streamers can now get monetized. You know what I'm saying? He has enough leverage at the very least that he can jump back in. Hell, he may even, Wings too, if he actually thought about it. I wonder if they both could go back and petition. Maybe petition isn't the term for it. I wonder if they could get someone at Twitch to re-look at their accounts and see if they can have it reversed. Now, remember, they were demonetized. They were never banned from the site. So I wonder if they could go back to Twitch and be like, hey, I've been gone for a while. I felt that this was unfair, this, that, and the third. I don't mean to give DSP any ideas, but fuck it. Or Wings. But then again, Locale Live looks like it's dying, or at least Keem's trying to make it seem like it's dying, so it is what it is on that. Anyway, hey, could you guys take another look at my account? I feel like, you know, this was done under, you know, rather dubious circumstances, or whatever terminology he wants to use. Even if it doesn't get him a managed partnership, if it immediately gets him back into affiliate, there you go. But then again, he doesn't really need affiliate at this point, because you can get gifted memberships on on Twitch now, day one. You know what I'm saying? That's made available to you. That's what, well, if it hasn't been implemented yet, I'm pretty sure it was. They were talking about it back in like May. But it's been a while since I've been back over there on Twitch, at least in my own account anyway. But if it's made available, you know what I'm saying, off the rip, then there you go. You know what I'm saying? That's really all he kind of needs. Now, I do think he needs to hit all of the qualifications needed for affiliate so he can cash out. So that's a thing. But he'll do that easily. You know what I'm saying? The trolls will make that happen before anybody else, just in viewership and watch time, let alone the dents and the NPCs. So yet again, though, if you look at how Twitch is currently structured, it's structured in a way for people like DSP and Wings to go back. They're just not going to have any of the protection. And truth be told, they don't really deserve it. Let's be honest.
It's easier to talk in there and use fun motion emotes and things like that. Quite frankly, outside of that, it's good to have an audience that I'm building in another platform. And I am. If you overall, okay, if you look at my viewership, my overall viewership has gone up on Kick. When I started on Kick, I was only getting maybe 40, 50 viewers a stream. And now, depending on what I'm doing, I usually bring in anywhere from, say, 55, 60 up to 80, 90 viewers a stream, which is why I actually qualified for the verification over there on Kick. So I am
on top of the fact that he bitched to Kino Casino and those DMs about it. I'm not saying that they helped nudge him forward on that or anything, but he sure as hell did a whole lot of bitching and complaining to them.
Increasing in my viewership. And I feel like if I stick to it, I will overall time get more and more over there. I do feel that way. It's just, it's going to be sticking with it and building that audience that expects the kind of content that I put out.
And we're in September and not really. it didn't work just sticking with it. But it doesn't matter because he gets his weekly paycheck, so it is what it is.
Because that's not common on Kick.
What a greasy, miserable little man, I gotta tell you.
Astro says, YouTube's been since day one, Kick's a trend. Yeah, but it's good. Here's the thing. It is good to try new things, to delve into new realms, to experiment.
That's not even true. It was really Kino Casino who pushed him into dual streaming in the first place. They had at least some influence on him, I should say. And Andy was the one who ended up getting his ass set up with the whole multi-streaming thing in the first place. Because DSP was paying for, of course he was, DSP was paying for a multi-stream service, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense given what DSP does. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Josh from the Kiwi Farms, that kind of makes sense, but not for DSP. And eventually someone else put him on to a free service, which is just as good, arguably better, and at least it fits DSP's needs, and now he's using that. Not well, but he is using it.
If you just stay in one spot and you do the same thing day in, day out, and you don't try to innovate and you don't listen to feedback, you get stagnant. I know because I've been there.
You still are, but all right.
I've been stagnant doing certain things for a while, and it wasn't until I started listening to the audience. Hey, try this game. Do a special event here. You know.
You mean the very people that you were ignoring the years before? Okay, that makes sense. It's not the flex you think it is. It's not the flex you think it is, Phil. It really isn't.
Go to a different place and try this here. Then things have picked up and gotten more interesting, for sure.
And like I said, Kino Casino prompt that. And I gotta say, as I look more and more into that low tier god $7,700 he owes to them, whatever it is. Boy, DSP better hope that no one figures out how to replicate that towards him and whatnot. Because LTG saying that fucking Kick It made a mistake. A lot of people think that he more than likely just he basically gifted himself the memberships through a credit card and then tried to charge it back later, which makes more sense. That's part of LTG's MO. DSP better hope that someone doesn't figure out how to do that shit to him on Kick, because that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious if Phil owed them, let's say not 7,000 or 7,000 plus. Let's say DSP owed them $3,000, and he somehow has to work that shit off. That's going to be hilarious, because I honestly think if that happened, DSP would stop streaming on the site. What's the point? You know what I'm saying? He might do it for a little while and whatnot, but that's going to cut into his profit share, so he would just stop. I honestly think he would just stop streaming on the site and go to Twitch. But the thing is he's going to have to still pay that money back. You know what I mean? So anyway, when we if that video isn't already out yet, I'm going to do a follow-up to it, because there's so much more to that story. And the lead up to it, more importantly than that. And I'll ask you guys some of those questions, and I'll try to provoke some of that thought as we get there. But fascinating shit, bro. Holy shit. Imagine you streaming on a site and having to pay them to do it. It's hilarious. Woo, this shit's hilarious.
No, we actually gave out all those badges yesterday. That it's a me Ken. He earned a whole ton of them, and we gave out 5 of them. I think, yeah, 5 of them. We gave out all 5, so we're all good there.
Oh yeah, when's the last time DSP gave out gifted subs or gifted badges on Kick and YouTube, respectfully? You don't talk about it no more. It's funny how that's a thing. But then again, it's the same guy who wouldn't even give away his Twitch Prime to anybody on Twitch. I mean, it's been proven that he did it to a couple of FGC guys every once in a while. But there was multi-month stretches where he didn't give it to anybody. He just hoarded it for himself. So there's that. I'm sure there might have been a dent or two that was the recipient of it, but not very consistent.
All right, guys, let's end the show. And then take a brief break, set up. Time for some Pirate Yakuza. It sucks. I wanted to hit the 50. All right, right now, let's hit 50. Let's just do it right now, and then we'll end the show. All right, because I want to end the show. I want to get ready.
He does the same shit with video games now. It's blatant. He's so blatant about this shit now. It's not even being blatant. He turned it into a normal thing. Be halfway through the fucking stream and shit, or through the gameplay. Hey guys, we haven't hit $100 yet, but we're at 90. Hey, someone just tip $10 right now, okay? And I'll resume the game. He's literally holding the game hostage mid-game. Only Darkside Phil. Only Dark Geppetto would do that shit.
For Pirate Yakuza, chill with you guys. Let's do it. Right at $14. 3 subs. 1 super chat. 1 tip. Let's hit it right now. Let's do it.
And how is this not begging? You know what I'm saying? How is that not begging?
And then we can have good momentum. We're a third of the way to the goal. We only have to worry about the two.
You sound like you're about to cry. Literally sound like you're about to cry.
Final 2/3 for the stream. Let's hit it. Come on, who's going to do it? I know someone's going to do it. It's just a matter of who's going to be up on that leaderboard right now, getting us to $50. All right? How do I feel about Switch 2 having only 3 hours of battery life on big games? I mean, that's...
Yeah, let's go ahead and cut that off. It's not important. All right.
Someone did a $2 tip saying, here's...
Now we're in, what's this, April 4th, I believe? Sorry, I don't have the thing right in front of me. But April 4th.
Some support for Suikoden. I see you mentioning your goal would be to raise more than you did. No, this is wrong. He says, I see you mention that your goal would be to raise $3,000 in a single day to beat Kino Casino. That's not beating Kino Casino. What I want to do is I want to show that I can still be as successful without them as I was with the one collab that we did that was successful.
So you're trying to beat Kino Casino. So you're trying to beat Kino Casino. The money that you made with them during that one event, you're trying to beat that. I.e., I want to make this money on my own. I'm a big kid now. I want to try to beat the amount of money that I made on my own, on doing things on my own, I should say, as I did when I was with them. It's literally the same shit, Phil. Don't try to take the shit too literal to act like you're above it. You're not.
Because quite frankly, that's all it was. It was one collab that was a big successful thing. Everything outside of that, after that, didn't work. Their ideas were not good. They just were.
You weren't willing to commit to none of them. That's the thing. You weren't willing to commit to any of it. They had all these ideas. They had all these playthroughs, or well, not playthroughs. They had all these games they were wanting to play, this, that, and the third, and you weren't willing to commit. You were the problem there, not them.
I would say the Chain Together gaming collab was fun, but it didn't resonate because their audience isn't a bunch of gamers.
No, that's not what happened. The reason why he thinks he's actually already said this. The reason why he said the Chain Together event wasn't as good as it could have been is because, if I remember correctly, Mudahar was supposed to be there for that. But Mudahar was already suffering the effects of the Sonichu medallion, which is what ended up helping to out his ass later with that whole engineer bullshit. So womp womp for that. So I think that was supposed to be Mudahar. Or was it supposed to be Josh? No. Sorry, I'm getting it mixed up. I'm right. It's Mudahar was supposed to be there for Chain Together. And then, like I said, he suffered the effects of the Sonichu chain, and he ended up getting sent to the Netherrealm. Josh thought that when he did the situation with Kino Casino and DSP, they might actually play a game. Instead, it turned into an interrogation session, and Josh had to defend himself, and DSP was trying to, pathetically, by the way, try to convince Josh to take down his thread, which is what everybody does to Josh. Nick Rekieta tried to do it. Ethan Ralph tried to do it. The only person who didn't try to do it was Medicare. He was the only person who was like, it's there, it's whatever. He didn't even bring it up. Because I think Josh, in their interview or their talk, Josh tried to bring it up, and Medicare was like, it's there, whatever. He didn't care. And keep in mind, this is the really fucked up part. Allegedly, Josh was the one who was waiting on that shit to pop off more than anything. Which means, or what possibly means, I should say, is Josh had a file on Medicare already waiting to drop it. He was probably ready to make the threat on his own, and he just didn't do it because he didn't want the consequences. Because Josh was very heavy. He was very heavily involved in that Medicare thread when that quote-unquote docs came out. He was all over that shit. Which is almost like, well, it's almost like you were waiting on this, and truth be told, it's almost like you were wanting to contribute to it. You just didn't want your hands dirty. That's my theory. I can't prove that, of course, but that's my thought. And then once they had the interview with each other all that time later, whatever animosity that Josh thought Medicare had against him, he didn't. And I think Josh felt like a fucking idiot. So he was just like, all right, I played that card wrong. But that says a lot. That says a lot about Josh, to be honest with you. But then again, it says a lot about a lot of those guys who were around the Medicare, that situation with the skeptics and all that shit around the time. There was a bunch of those guys who had fucking files, or they thought they had files on Medicare and shit. But no one wanted to be the first one to drop it. So it is what it was.
Their audience is a bunch of drama queens because that's what they want. That's the content they make. Drama queen shit, gossip, bullying nonsense.
The same thing that you benefited $3,000 off of. So it was okay to get that money doing that content there. But then when you wanted them to embrace your slop content, they were like, why would we do this? It's slop content. Womp womp.
For idiots. So because of that, the audience didn't like gaming. You know what I mean? And
that doesn't even make any sense, because if you actually watch Kino Casino, or if you watch it towards the end after PPP bounces, but even though PPP is there sometimes too, they sometimes do collaboration game streams at the end of the main, their main show. They'll play, they'll play games with each other and whatever. But if not, Andy is usually good for doing a playthrough or the continuation of a playthrough of a game after the fact. He has no problem doing it. He actually pulls in some decent money doing it as well. More than I would be willing to give him credit for.
Out of that, everything else we tried to do didn't work. Their ideas sucked, and they couldn't get the clout to get the good ideas going.
And what ideas did you contribute to the situation, per se? Just out of curiosity. It's funny how you expected the whores to go. Oh no, it's funny how you expected the horses to pull the wagon, right? But you had nothing to actually contribute to help them push the wagon forward or provide momentum to it, if you will. Think about what he's saying here. He's literally saying they fucked up. They're the ones who were supposed to come up with the ideas and this, that, and third, and they didn't do it. It's their fault. Well, what did you contribute to that? That's what a partnership is. That's what a collaboration is. It's give or take. It's not just one person coming in and reaping the benefits and the other person is just there. It doesn't work that way. Or at least it shouldn't anyway.
We're kind of, I would say the Chain Together gaming collab was fun.
But sorry, back to my original point. I ain't sat there and gone off on a tangent. The reason why he thinks the Chain Together event was a failure was because Mutahar was supposed to be there and Mutahar chose not to show up. They also did I thought they did like a Call of Duty zombie situation too. I don't know if someone was supposed to be there for that though. I can't remember now. But they had that little playing session too where they played zombies. It's funny how DSP and memory hold that shit.
But it didn't resonate because their audience isn't a bunch of gamers. Their audience is
and now I think about it, sorry, but I'm not sorry for all these pauses. But as it pertains to the Chain Together event, PPP and Andy had to carry DSP through that whole shit. He was literally the weakest link in that playthrough or on that gaming stream. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit was sad. That shit was sad to watch. And the thing is Andy and PPP amongst themselves literally admitted that they were nothing more than horses, mules, if you will, pulling fucking DSP along. And that's what happened. So there's that.
a bunch of drama queens because that's what they want. That's the content they make. Drama queen shit, gossip, bullying nonsense for idiots. So because of that, the audience didn't like gaming. You know what I mean? And outside of that, everything else we tried to do didn't work. Their ideas sucked. And they couldn't get the clout to get the good ideas going. If we had done a show with ITSAGUNDAM, if we had done a show with Mutahar.
Why would you want to do a fucking thing with ITSAGUNDAM? Didn't you call him Yucko the Clown or some whatever fucking outdated reference that I don't know nothing about? That's out of my time frame. Like, didn't you sit there and call him all that shit and all that bullcrap? What was that? And then you were okay with fucking... No. Matter of fact, this opens up a whole new can of worms. Somebody say, you were okay with Gundam coming up there and roasting your ass for however long? You're not going to be able to fucking fight back against Gundam. He's far too quick-witted and funny and creative that you're going to be able to beat anything that he has to say. Even if he decides to go in there half-stepping. Even if he walks into that shit baked, right? Even if he walks in there and decides not to completely crush your soul, he's still going to beat you. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. I didn't know he wanted a piece of Gundam like that. Wow. See? That's what pigs do.
If we had done a show with any of the candidates who we had talked about, it would have been great. They literally could get none of them.
No, they weren't interested because funny enough, let's go ahead and cut this bullshit for a minute. The three guys in particular, Gundam, Medicare, and Mutahar. Mutahar and Medicare asked him years previous, if when DSP was wanting to do an interview, they both said they would be willing to interview him. They both put their names in the hat as candidates. He disregarded both of them. Just out and out, he disregarded them. So Rip Van Winkle to that shit. To fucking, I didn't even know you even wanted a piece of Gundam like that, but he would have beaten you outright, so that wouldn't have mattered. I don't know who else they could have really brought in to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? At a time when that would have been worthwhile to do so, that time passed. See, DSP is one of these fucking morons who believes he has all the time in the world, and he really don't. So DSP made it out to be, oh, well, they only wanted to interview me because I was down bad. Now that the internet likes me, now they don't want to talk to me anymore because now I have equal ground. No, Medicare's sick. Mutahar is dealing with his fucking bullshit with the Sonichu fucking chain curse. He's dealing with that nonsense. And who was the other guy? Moist Critical didn't want nothing to do with you anyway. And the few people who allegedly did want to work with you, you blew off. Like Mike Klum and some of those other guys. Oh, and Lolcow Live. So what did you really think was going to happen? And then more importantly, according to PPP, or Triple P as I like to call him, he couldn't get you to commit to shit. Every idea they threw at you, you shot down. So how many of those ideas were really bad? Or how lazy were you really? Makes you think.
0. So the point I'm making here is,
and then yet again, he's literally telling you he didn't contribute anything to it. It's their fault that everything fell apart. What did you do? Yet again, it's utilitarianism. If you don't have a purpose, you're just in the way. You're dead space. You're dead weight.
I feel like I can be successful and do stuff that works without having to be toxic, drama queen, bullying nonsense. That's kind of my goal for this year. I hope that I can do something this year that would hit that level. Now, I don't know what it would be.
So yet again, he needs another PPP and Andy. Sorry. He needs another Kino Casino situation to happen that will elevate him. And that's why he's been so desperate to fucking message all these other content creators behind the scenes, and no one wants to touch him. So that's the plan. That's the marketing scheme, ladies and gentlemen. That's the reason why we've been doing all these bullshit we've been, what's it called? Hunting people down, or hounding people. That's the term I should use. That's the reason why he's been hounding and badgering and fucking bothering and harassing people in people's DMs on Twitter and on Discord. He's trying to get collaborations done, but he don't want it to be drama content. He wants to go over and do the normie shit so he can go ahead and bleed them for their audiences. And no one want to touch him, because even the normies understand that you're a piece of garbage and they don't want to deal with you. It's not the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics are the problem. It's you. You're the problem. And this goes back, ladies and gentlemen, to the, this goes back to the side scroller interview all over again. He ain't sat there and showed his fucking ass on that interview. And then when he did the Stuttering Craig interview 18 months later, and he admitted that, yeah, I lied to you for 5.5 hours, whatever it was. I lied to y'all. So what? An answer is an answer. It doesn't matter if it's the truth or not. An answer is an answer. To a normie, you're like, oh, I don't want no part of that. I don't want no part of that at all. He didn't have a problem with Stuttering Craig and the rest of side scrollers when he was up there with them, and he still lied to them for 5.5 hours. Why the fuck would anybody want to trust him on anything? You know how wild that shit is? If that's not peak mental illness, I don't know what is. And the fact that he still believes he should have an opportunity amongst the rest of the herd, if you will, is insane. You're not normal, and people shun you off that way because they see it. They understand it. It's not the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics that are putting up the barrier or are the deterrent. It's you. You're the problem. You're the issue. And he's just too mentally ill to see it.
You would think it would be a special event like a marathon or something would be when that would happen, right? But I don't know. But no, it's not. I'm not trying to beat them. To be quite honest with you, I'm not in competition with them. I never was. I'm nothing like them.
So then why is it $3,000 then? Why isn't it 5? Why isn't it 10? You're telling me that, oh, I'm not in competition with them, but you're literally basing it off the benchmark of the money that you made with them. Stupid is as stupid does, I guess.
I'm not trying to beat them in views or revenue or anything like that. That's not the point. The point.
No one even said that. You added that on for no reason, but whatever.
The point is, I just want to show that I am a successful guy.
You're not.
Despite the fact that I don't have to bully others and bring others down.
Even I guess Review Tech USA would have something to say about that. But then again, he's been stomped on by so many other people since you that it doesn't even really matter at this point.
To get over, you see?
Okay. Last time I checked, wasn't Review Tech USA talking some shit about Charlie Kirk's wife faking her tears or some shit so she could now take over America First or whatever, or AF or whatever the organization is? Wasn't he talking that nonsense? And then didn't somebody on Twitter from AF say that, yeah, they may be considering on pursuing charges against him for slander or whatever the fuck? So he's got himself a whole nother can of worms to worry about if any of that even produces any fucking milk. But trust me, Rich is in a whole nother cornucopia of bullshit of his own making for no damn reason, by the way.
Okay. So thank you for the $2 tip.
And if this guy wasn't a fucking idiot, he would make everything $5 and up when it comes to tips, but he won't because he's stupid and desperate. So it is. It's what it is. Yeah, Phil, you're really gonna supplement a business with $2 tips. That makes a lot of sense, champ. That makes a whole lot of sense. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me just a second, and then give you guys final thoughts, and then we will. I'll let you guys move on with your day. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to step away for a minute. Let's see where we're at. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. Big ups to Raw Phil. Big ups to Diggs, and big ups to Chio. And final thoughts. So, yet again, Kino Casino has DSP completely and utterly mind-fucked, and rightfully so. The DSP wanting a collaboration with ITSAGUNDAM through Kino Casino, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all. But that's funny, because after the leaks, after the DM leaks came out, Kino Casino and Gundam did a stream with each other. Actually, I'm pretty sure I did a video on that. That was when DSP was playing Street Fighter. Oh man, was he playing Street Fighter 6? Or no, he was playing Marvel 2. He was playing Marvel 2. I might do a Gout to see him on that, on his Marvel vs. Capcom 2 run, by the way. I may do that. But he was playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, getting beat the fuck up. I think it was by, I think VDO was playing him that night. Him and Smooth Cat, maybe. They were beating the shit out of him. That shit was hilarious. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, they had a good laugh that night. That shit was fucking hilarious. But there's that. So yeah, basically Kino Casino still has that luxury penthouse up there in DSP's head with that. As it pertains to the marathon that he had coming up towards his birthday, I already threw out the whole long con, the marketing scheme behind all that bullshit. Just egregious. But it's interesting to kind of see how he shifted the goalpost, so to speak, to try to make things work to his advantage. But it's really just a vestry. It's a variation of it, but it's still just a vestry. It's no different, to be honest. And how it kind of funnels into the DSP tries-its, into the marathons, and so on and so forth. It's the same shit. And eventually it'll fade. It'll eventually fade. Also, I'd like to hope that if not enough evidence, I've brought enough, some decent points, I'll say that. Some decent points on how and why DSP would pad those stream goals to, you know what I'm saying, to hit whatever. I hope I just presented a few decent points on it. Make of that what you will. And that's pretty much that. To be honest with you, the whole thing with Kino Casino failing to do shit is really hilarious, because if you've read through the DMs, it's not true. It's legit, but like anything else that comes out of DSP's mouth, it's of course not true. But it wasn't true. He blatantly lied there. But you know, fish gotta swim, right? Pigs gotta snort. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. Holy shit, silly ass motherfucker. Holy shit. The Gundam, and him wanting an interview with Gundam is really surprising. I'm really surprised he wanted that after all the shit that he had talked. But whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Snort Report. This has been DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes! A GTG Network and Productions. For Tim Snortons, Hard Snorts Gin and Tonic, SnortBucks Coffee Company, best beverage company, and all of our other subsidiaries and affiliates. I've been your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, my people. Oh man, I'm gonna have to see if there's any more to that whole Gundam thing. I did not know that he wanted that smoke with Gundam. I'm really shocked, because we all saw how the Josh thing went. So I don't know, that might make a pretty good what if. Anyway, I'll catch you guys for the next one of these. Take care of yourselves, people. Later.
One topic, 20 street fighters from bare hands to toxic. You're an average warrior, I be the master. I can teach you how to fight and move faster. One false move, kid, that be disaster. I beat you endless and continue the day after. Street Fighter 3, that's right, the 3rd chapter. This game's for real, no lies or no actors. Pick your character, don't wanna represent your life. You start with anybody, so make your choice right.
Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one.